Woo! Okay. I hope we're all doing very, very well. Welcome to Chelsea Fan TV. We are live. I have just got back from Greece. We are going to talk everything about what we saw yesterday when Chelsea took on Panathinaikos and not just the football, there's a lot of other stuff as well. For those of you who watch the vlog, a lot of controversy regarding this game. Yeah, Panathinaikos, they are horrible. They are horrible. And I'm going to explain why. We're going to go into all the details of the trip. And it's a call-in show, most importantly. So join. I'm going to put a link in the chat. Join me. I want to know your thoughts on the game as well. And we will have a very, very nice show. So big up to everyone that's in the chat. Oh, I am absolutely knackered. But here we go. Here we are. No more kebabs for Alex, says Stu. Big up to Gaming for Life as well. We've got 25 of you at the moment. Can we get up to 25 likes straight away, please? Can we get up to 25 likes on the live? Guys, I've got the link as well. If you want to join me, click the link, have your say. You can come on for as long as you like. And we're going to talk about absolutely everything. But before further ado, let's just break up. Let's break down what we saw yesterday. We won this game 4-1. And to be honest with you, I need some help because I didn't watch the second half. I didn't watch the second half. So there's a reason for that, which I can dive into. Yeah, I really can't give you much of an analysis on the second half. And the first half was rubbish, wasn't it? It was a terrible first half. As a neutral fan, it's not very entertaining at all. AB TV says, "Are you going to the Newcastle game?" Yes, I am. Hope you're doing well, True Blue. Lots to discuss in terms of whether certain players can keep the consistency in the Prem as well. Absolutely. And this competition is going to be hopefully the catalyst for a lot of the players that we have to show that they are capable of competing at the highest level in the Premier League. And as intimidating as Panathinaikos is away from home, ultimately, I think Crystal Palace is still a harder game, if I'm totally honest with you, in terms of a lot of the quality they have. And a lot of the Premier League teams out there are just better, aren't they? So, it's not disrespect to Panathinaikos. It's just that's how it is. So let's get into it, guys. We've got quite a few people from the panel coming in. Big up to Gaming for Life, ABTV, and Father. Boys, are you able to change your camera just so your landscape? Are you able to do that?
Change it like that.
Right, perfect. That's brilliant.
You're gonna see like that, yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. Maybe tilt your phone up a little bit or something. Father,
Yo,
are you able to go landscape?
landscape. I think I only do portrait, mate. I'm not in my house right now.
Just turn the bloody phone.
Hold on a second. Is it better now?
Yeah. Why doesn't it switch?
I don't know if I can switch it or not, man.
Of course you can. Gaming for Life just did it.
I'm not good at technology anyway, but flipping hell.
It's all right. It's all right.
I won't be here for long anyway. So yeah, go on.
That's all right. That's all right. What do you want me to call you Gaming for Life, or do you have a name?
Yeah, of course. I've been called that so many times.
That's what you want me to call you?
Yeah.
All right. Cool. Well, what did you think of the game, and how would you summarize it?
Well, the first half we know we weren't good. We were like slowing the game down. They were dominant in like the few minutes that we were playing. But when we scored that first goal, obviously we know when the second half started, Maresca must have said something to the boys and they turned up real good. I mean, our only front attack was probably Mudryk. He was like the best one, I'd say, out of them.
Yeah, man. Mudryk, two assists and a goal, right?
Yeah, I believe so. Has more GNA than Martinelli this season.
I mean, talk to me about his performance then. I mean, are you happy with what you saw from him? Is it
I
enough
think
to warrant
he's
a start
slowly
against Newcastle?
improving. I think he's slowly improving under Maresca. If I was to say it, his best attribution is the passing, which is quality from him, like the crossing and everything. Other than that, like he will improve eventually, like on other stuff like dribbling, how to run players out. But I think he's slowly improving.
Slowly but surely.
Yeah, but will we see him in Newcastle in the starting lineup? No, but who knows? He might. Maresca did say he might make some changes in the Newcastle game because we play him twice as well because we play him at the Carabao Cup.
Yeah, I mean, I like Mudryk, but I just don't see how you start him over Sancho. If Sancho's playing well, I think he's always going to start out of Mudryk. But then I saw a player in Sancho who I don't think made much of a difference against Liverpool. I think we could have used a little bit more pace in that game. But actually, he did win a penalty. This just wasn't given. I mean, everyone, even Liverpool fans, say that was a penalty.
I think Mudryk will start in the United game because Sancho can't start against United because he's on loan. But I'm also thinking he could start Neto on the left or right because he has options.
Yeah. No, I like what I see from Neto. I mean, ABTV, what did you think about the game?
Yeah, can you hear me?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm fine. So I think the first half was a bit harsh, but I think Enzo Fernandez was the best player in the pitch in the first half. But yeah, Mudryk was really, really good. I think he has improved a lot. But yeah, Joe Felix was good, but I think Maresca has to give Joe Felix more game time.
You think he deserves more minutes?
Yeah. I think.
But I mean, it's not exactly harsh. I wouldn't say it's harsh. I mean, you are competing against Cole Palmer for that position.
Yeah, but still, I think Nkunku and Felix they deserve more minutes. I think.
Than Jackson and Palmer.
No, Jackson and Palmer, but I think like if Jackson and Palmer doesn't do nothing, you can put like Nkunku and Felix in the pitch.
I'm with you. What did you think, Father?
I generally agree. I genuinely agree with some of the points there, but I just think that it's Panathinaikos, man. We should be beat this team like comfortably as well. The only negative side that I would be disappointed is probably a clean sheet would have been a lot better for us. I mean, we haven't kept a clean sheet for a month now, so yeah, it's disappointing to see that happen. But hey, we got 3 points, and we sit pretty much at the top of the table, and then yeah, we've got a home game next time against Noah FC, and then away at Astana, and then home to Shamrock Rovers. So I couldn't really complain too much, really, apart from that clean sheet thing.
Yeah, I'm with you, boys. I'm with you. I mean, let's break it down player by player. And look, guys, I can put the link back in the chat as well. If anyone wants to jump on, you can jump on at any time. So there is.
Alice, I can't lie. I'm going to see you on Sunday anyway. So yeah, I'll be there on Sunday because I've got to go now. So that's why.
Oh, you got to go now.
Yeah, I got to go now. I've been called.
Oh, that was a quick appearance. Well, thanks for coming on.
It's a quick appearance. I got a meeting to do after this. But yeah, man.
I'm with you, bro. I'm with you. Well, good for having you on, Father. I'll see you. I'll see you on Sunday.
Yes, sir.
But yeah, I'll put a link in the chat. We've got about 40 people in there. Let's get 40 thumbs up in the chat, please. Let me know how many we're on. And without further ado, we're going to talk about everything in a little bit more depth. Boys, I mean, did you see what happened in before the game? Did you see what happened before?
No,
I didn't.
You haven't seen it?
Was it the away fans?
Yeah.
Yeah, I did see in your video. I think the away fans were absolutely atrocious, and the police as well.
The away fans? You mean the sorry, you mean like the Panathinaikos fans?
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, not our fans, their away fans. Because I saw in your video they were just I saw it on summer. They were absolutely disgusting. Even the police.
I'll be so real with you. I've never experienced anything like that.
Trust me.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was just criminal. To be honest with you, I thought it was criminal. And I read some of the comments from the blog, and I was like, I was reading them, and Panathinaikos fans are literally saying like, why did they let you go this way to the stadium? Let's see if I can see it now. Like one of the top comments on that video was, where is it? I can't find it. But yeah, he basically said like, they never do that in Greece. They would never do that. What they would do is any other Greek team, they would escort them the other side of the stadium. We literally walked the whole way round, and right by the ultra section, which is obviously going to be where the problems come from, and that's exactly what happened. I mean, it was funny though, because my friend Cameron, who I was with, he started running away, and I said, Cam, listen, mate, we're going to be all right. You can't just run away. But I mean, we got hit a couple of times with bottles, to be fair. So actually, right.
At least you won't go there again. They'll come to the bridge.
I'll absolutely go there again. I mean, if I have the opportunity, but I'll go there knowing that maybe I need to be prepared for a little bit more.
Because you didn't know exactly what to expect.
Yeah, no, 100%, 100%. I just think that the people in Greece are so nice. So it was such a contrast to then see just how horrible they can be as well. And I had a friend of mine who's Greek. Like he messaged me and he was like, "That's not what we want you to think about our country." Blah blah blah. And I was like, "Well, that is what I think because I was there." But yeah, let's dive into it a little bit, boys. Yusuf, is your connection working or? Obviously not. Okay, we're going to go player by player. Player by player today. We're going to go through everything that we've seen. The good, bad, and the ugly. Okay. So we start off with Jorgensen in goal. Now, I actually thought this guy was going to be in doubt. I didn't think Jorgensen was going to be available, but he was.
Can you hear me?
Which is good. Yeah, I mean, we conceded, but I mean, how would you rate his performance? Let's start with you, Yusuf. Can you hear us?
No.
Yusuf, can you hear us?
Jorgensen, I actually think he was okay.
There's a bit of a lag going on. I don't know if it's your internet or something, but I'm struggling to hear you, mate. We'll just go with Gaming for Life while you sort your connection out. What did you think about Jorgensen?
He made a brilliant save I don't know if it was the first minute or second where that player headed it in and he just made a banging save. Yeah, you know what? I don't think Jorgensen is actually bad as people thought he was. I think he's really good. But obviously, we know he ain't going to start in the Premier League. We know Robertson and Sanchez, regardless, is going to be our number one. But obviously, if anything happens, then Maresca could change it. But I would say he was all right. I'm going to give him 9 out of 10 because that goal wasn't like his fault.
Okay, 9 out of 10 as a rating. That's a solid rating. I mean,
if he conceded any stupid goals, I would probably say he was one of our worst. But I don't think Jorgensen is that actually bad of a goalkeeper in goal.
Okay, I'm with you. I mean, nobody said he's bad, but I mean, it's hard to justify dropping Sanchez unless he's really bad, which is almost like what we had last season. I think
that's
if
why we
we
had
do end
to
up
throw
dropping them,
Petrovic.
yeah, it will probably be in December or January when you have a couple of games where things aren't going well. Unlimited Dreamer. It's been such a long time since I've been on stream with you.
Yeah, it has been, mate. I've been busy quite a bit, really. Yeah, hang on, is there someone got like a full voice? Because I just heard my voice from someone.
Try again.
Hello? Yeah, now I don't hear it.
Okay, it's all good.
Okay. Yeah, so I watched your video and Jesus Christ. The most disrespectful fans in the whole planet, I will say. Throwing bottles, even money at you? Where's the logic in this?
Where's the love? Where's the love for Chelsea
this,
fans?
No, this is where I'm going to be saying this isn't the end of it, because think about it. Ghent came to
Where
our
is
place
the
with-
justice?
Well, they don't care. They don't care about us English in the UK. So really, well, yeah. But this is the thing. This is not going to be the end of this bull crap.
Yeah,
Sorry if that wasn't supposed to be said. My apologies. But
yeah.
Ghent came to our stadium, ruined our seats when they came, and started throwing pieces at the Chelsea fans. And now whatever, I can't even say their name properly. Jesus Christ.
Panathinaikos.
Yeah, the team that you just said. And now these fans start throwing bottles, whatever, at our fans. It's like, you really are asking for yourselves to get a drum in, aren't you?
They are nasty. They're nasty, horrible people. I'm not even joking.
And just think about this. Noah and Hoffenheim and then Shamrock Rovers, expect this from them if this happens. Because if they do, then let's just say this. Just repeat this to them. Well, you've just done this now. Expect a drumming. I
honestly, bro, I could not believe what I was seeing. I genuinely couldn't believe it.
And I can't. And the other thing is, I couldn't believe the police wouldn't allow you guys to leave because you had to get your flight. That's just what.
Nah, but this is the thing. Everyone thinks I didn't want to watch the game because I wanted to get my flight. It wasn't like that. We knew if we didn't leave early, we would be stuck in the stadium for an hour after the game. Because that's what they do in European away fixtures. They don't let you leave straight away. So we basically said, right, because we went to get. It's hard to tell because I didn't film all of it in the vlog. Because to be honest, I just don't want to film it all.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
But you know, at halftime we went to get a beer, and anyone that goes to games in England, how long does it take to get a beer at halftime? Maybe 10 minutes, 15 at a push.
I would say a couple of minutes.
Yeah, you might run over for like 10 minutes if you want to take your time drinking your beer or whatever. That's fine. But it took about 35 minutes to get a beer at halftime that we'd already paid for. So we didn't want to go in because we've already paid for this stuff. And by the time we got our beers, we were 4-0 up. So we were like, this is just shit. This is rubbish. So in the end, like some of the guys said, I mean, it wasn't my idea. Like the guys that we came with, they were like, listen, we've got to go now if we don't want to get stuck in the stadium after the game. So we went, fair enough. Like, you know what? I've missed all the goals anyway. Screw this, man. And then we walked to the police, and the police are so bad. They're horrible. And we said to the policeman, we said, listen, we're trying to leave. And they said, oh, you've got to go that way. You can't come out this way. Literally 2 people walked out in front of me, and I went, what about them? How come they can walk past? And then the exact response was, yes, but they're Greek. Oh, here we go.
Wow, that's racism or whatever you could call it.
I mean, I don't know about that, but I mean, it was just annoying. Let's just put it like that.
Well, let's put all the negative things out of the way, and I'll say about the game.
I've got more. I'm not done, Unlimited. I'm not done. There is more to this story.
Okay.
So they sent us the other way. They said, listen, you've got to go this way. Well, hang on a second. Why can't that guy go through? He's Greek, as we just said. So we went the other way, and we had exactly the same problem on the other side. The police did not let us leave. We said, hang on, we have a flight to catch. We're quite stressed at this point. You know, you've got a flight. You're like, I can't go anywhere. but I need to go. Otherwise, I'm going to miss my flight. And they just said no. And they said, you know, that they were essentially threatening violence if we didn't cooperate. So what we ended up doing was climbing over the fence in Greece. And yeah, I mean, absolutely criminal how this happened. I mean, I cannot believe what we had to do, and I was just, yeah, absolutely stunned by it. In fact, I'm just gonna briefly share my screen because some people probably haven't watched the video that I'm referring to, so I'll just touch on it ever so quickly. This is what I'm talking about, guys. So we were trying to get out, and we ended up having to climb.
More police come, innit?
Right, get over, boys. That's it. Push, 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 push. You've got to push.
Yes, you can.
You can, Cam. You have to.
Now, obviously, we ended up getting over. I mean, Cam, it took him a couple of attempts, bless him. But yeah, I mean, it was ridiculous. And we literally had to climb over. And if you were like, well, if you're an older fan, I mean, you wouldn't have been able to do it because it was challenging. It was hard to get over. And I just think that it's a lesson for any fan going to one of these games. Understand what it is you're doing, because Greece is not a game for the faint-hearted. But yeah, we did get our flight in the end, and there was no massive issues. But obviously, as I said, I didn't manage to see the second half, which I was really pissed off about. So yeah, listen, let's talk about the football now. Right, AB TV. I haven't heard from you for a while. What did you think about Jorgensen? I think Yusuf was very impressed with what he saw. I mean, do you agree?
Yeah. I think Jorgensen was right. I think 7 out of 10 performance. He was good.
He was good. What did you like about what he was doing, and how is he different from Robert Sanchez?
I actually think that he's better than Sanchez. He's more like he's comfortable on the ball, and I think he's better shot stopper than Sanchez. So yeah.
Fair play. Do you agree with that, Gaming for Life?
Yeah.
I actually do agree with it. I think he's more calm on the ball. His distribution, he's just fine. Like he doesn't like panic, and I feel like with the defense, I feel confident with Jorgensen because the defense is not like shaky and it's not like scary, especially when you have Jorgensen. But when it's Sanchez, you don't know what to expect from him. Like when that Brighton goal came in, like the first goal, he didn't need to go for it. He could have just let one of the defenders clear, and he just went for it and then just conceded. But like I said, we'll let Jorgensen play for these like conference games, cup games. But if it comes to the way where he has to play, like say, Premier League games, and Sanchez has to play cup games, then I don't mind seriously. But right now we need to see. I think Maresca wants to get the best out of Sanchez, but you know we'll just have to see, and we can't just kick him out like that. We just sort of give him a chance, and if he keeps just screwing up, then Maresca has no choice, because which other goalkeeper is he going to put out, really?
Yeah. No,
we've been wasting money on goalkeepers. Like we could have kept Petrovic, but luckily he went on loan. He didn't get sold, and who knows what we're going to do with him next season?
Yeah, I think that was unfortunate. I think
Petrovic
good enough for Chelsea. Distribution wise, not entirely sure. Pochettino never really put pressure on him to pass out from the back. So it'll be interesting to see how he copes in Maresca's system. But listen, if you're going to give Sanchez a chance, then why can't Petrovic? But we'll see what happens there. Guys, let's see if we can get to 50 likes. I have no idea what we're on. Can someone let me know in the chat? If you haven't smashed the thumbs up, please do. It helps massively. Big up to everyone in the chat. I mean, yeah, for me, I like Jorgensen. I was certain that he was going to be our number one goalkeeper, ahead of ahead of Sanchez. So I was shocked when we found out that it's actually the other way around. Because if you're in the cup side, you're not number one, are you? Number two. Let's be honest. And yeah, I just didn't really see that. What was the point of signing Jorgensen? What was the point if you weren't going to start him ahead of Sanchez? Like, why did you invest in another goalkeeper if you already trust the goalkeeper you initially signed?
I think they're gonna try and make profit out of Jorgensen.
I don't see that. I really don't see that. Personally, is like I feel like mostly these cup games is for a test of Jorgensen, saying, all right, can you do well in these cup games? And then this is the thing. We will need to wait because we know Sanchez has bozo moments. Like, we need to give Jorgensen a bit more time. Because, like, in the cup games, say, like the FA Cup, the Carabao Cup, he will at some point face a Premier League side. And that will be a big test for him. That would be. So, like Newcastle in the EFL Cup, we've got them away. That's a big test because we all know
Jorgensen has to start. He has to start.
Like, yeah, at every time we go to St James's Park, it's been mostly like really a tight game. It can be. And I'm leaving last season out of it. That's all the distant memory. And yeah, this is the thing. Like with Jorgensen, I really am impressed with him. His distribution, he is calm on the ball. Every time when I look at it, I always thought about Sanchez, and I always get a heart attack when people press the goalkeeper. But with Jorgensen, it just feels like I don't have that like panic moment. Like he's going to lose the ball. He's just distributes it to the simplest option, not to the difficult of say like, oh, Gusto's in this spot, but there's two players near him. He's going to get. I can trust him to say, oh, I'll pass it to this player who's in way more space and won't get pressed easily and can just distribute the ball to the attacking phase instead of, oh, let's just press, let's just get our defense all muddled up or freaking press and we'll lose the ball and we'll concede a goal. I think Jorgensen, I think he's slowly maybe going to impress Maresca because if you look at the first 2 minutes of the game when Jorgensen made that good save, because let's be honest here, the ball bouncing to the ground is not really easy for a goalkeeper to save because if it bounces onto the ground, it could easily go a bit higher or it could just bounce, like do a little bubble low. You never know on the surface. So that was a really good save. And we all know he can be a good shot stopper. Obviously, like I'm going to say, the games, when it comes to the Premier League sides in the cup games, that's when we'll see how good Jorgensen can be.
Yeah, 100%. Okay, so we can all agree we're happy with what we've seen from Jorgensen. I mean, let me know in the chat as well, guys, what you think. With cameras, guys, I mean, people don't have to put their cameras on. I mean, I'm not that bothered. If you want to, great. If you don't, no problem. As long as we can hear what you're saying, that's the most important thing. But it does help if you get your cameras on, so you can if you want to. Guys, don't take this match seriously. Panathinaikos, it's tragic. Don't know what you mean by that. Hugh says we're on 28 likes. Come on, people. Smash the like button. Let's get up to 50. Big up to CJ as well. Back again. How are you doing, my friend?
Not too bad. What's going on, guys?
I'm good, bro. I'm good. I mean, we were just touching on Jorgensen, and then we were going to move on. But what's your thought on Chelsea's goalkeeper?
I think Jorgensen actually should get a run in the team because watching yesterday's game, there's like a sense of calmness that you just feel with this guy, behind the defenders. Like Sanchez, just for me, it's just too erratic. And we haven't really seen enough of Jorgensen. And that save he made, in the first, 2-3 minutes, impressive as well. Short pass and distribution, it's on point. I just think we need to see something else because if Sanchez is going to keep dropping these performances, I would want to see what the other option has. Like this was like Sanchez Petrovic from last season. And, Petro came in and we just felt a bit more secure, defensively. And so I think Jorgensen, he should get a run in the team against Newcastle. I think both games he should potentially play them. And then if he's dropping stinkers, then we know, all right, you know what? They're both just not good enough.
I mean, I do think that Sanchez is better this season than what he was last season. Would you agree with that?
Honestly, I think he's made, In the general scope, I think Sanchez has definitely kept us in a few times, but he's also just costed us points more times. So it's just weird. Like
True.
I'll say, like it's been an improvement from last season, but just not good enough. You know what I mean? To a point where it's like we have to persist with Sanchez as the number one. Like you
Yeah.
bought Jorgensen in, he fits what the coach is trying to do, playing out of the back with his feet. And he's looked assured in a lot of the games I've seen him in. I haven't seen him make the mistakes Sanchez has made this season. So for me, that's already a win. So just play the guy potentially. If not, we just roll with it.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Okay, let's move on to the defense. Shall we start? Let's start with the main man, Cucurella, who he's been fantastic the majority of the season. I mean, let's start with you, Gaming for Life. I mean, how did you rate his game?
Do you know what? I mean, I have no comment to say about this player because he knows exactly what he's doing at left back. He's just brilliant. Like, I can't say much about him. We know exactly he's better than Ben Chilwell, and for me, I think we should. I was surprised that he was starting. I thought it would be what's his name? I can't pronounce his name. Valga, how you pronounce his name? I can't pronounce it.
Vega.
Valter Vega. Yeah, I thought Vega would start left back, but hey, I was surprised Cucurella started. I was surprised even about Enzo, but yeah, I think Cucurella was good yesterday. I think he was good. There's no way. He knows exactly what he's doing. He puts on a performance.
He is so good. I love Cucurella.
Yeah.
There's just
And
something.
do you know what it is? Do you know what it
Yeah.
is though, Alex? And I remember us trying to loan him out to Man United the year before when he first joined.
You remember?
That was
you remember
really
what?
risky.
Say again. Say again.
With Cucurella, that we were trying to loan him to Man United when he first joined us.
Yeah,
That would have been absolutely shocking if we did that.
Obviously, honestly, that was the best. Everything happens for a reason, doesn't it? And
Yeah.
that fell through, and it turned out to be great business for us.
Yeah.
But I think
Graham,
he's improved.
yeah.
He's improved under Pochettino and Maresca.
Pink Sheep Army says Cucurella is our best presser. Do we agree with that, guys?
100%.
Yeah,
I can-
100%.
I can say about Cucurella is like he gives 100% now off and on the pitch. He can, and it's like when you looked at that game, he didn't even go off first. He went off from first and second game. He just went full throttle at people. It's like, I'm gonna press you. Let's see how you can handle this.
I'm with you. Yeah, I mean, Adas says he's top 3 left backs in the Prem. Who's ahead of Cucurella in the Prem? Who's ahead of him?
I would, is Robson a left back or is he the right? Oh yeah, Robson's a left back. I would say Robson could be. I will be honest, because he's been in more of a top team for more seasons. Cucurella's just been at Brighton, and now he's with us. He's been with us for a little bit, and now we're getting the good of Cucurella.
What about you, CJ?
My automatic pick will be Gavaggio, but when you just look at left backs in this league, like Cucurella has to be, like you said, minimum top 3. I don't think most rivals would agree, but it's just the guy has like the tenacity, he has the aggression, and like because usually when I do like my previews or whatever I do on my channel, like I'm always praying for Cucurella being the one who plays the inverted role instead of Gusto, because it's just he looks like more of a natural fit. He plays like a midfielder sometimes, and I don't think Gusto or even James, to a larger extent, can play that role as him. Like the guy is just amazing, man, and I'm glad Poch played him in that cup game, because imagine losing Cucurella to this United team. Yeah, it would have been sad. It would have been a sad way to go out.
Oh yeah, when he came, I think that was his when he returned back from his injury when we were playing United at home.
Yeah, we
he was absolutely sensational.
We almost loaned him to United. I'm kind of, that's one of the good decisions Poch made last season. But this guy's immense, man. He's when he doesn't play, you see we don't really have the balance on that side, because you want him to invert, you want him to play as a left wing back, as a left midfielder, as an 8. Cucurella can give it to you, all of it. It's just serious player, man.
Yeah, and as well, people do forget that part of the reason that he did have a tough time wasn't because of on the pitch, it was off the pitch. But I mean, things were never easy at Chelsea when he first come in anyway. Yeah, and once he started playing that inverted role, he did find his confidence. And yeah, I mean, he's ran with it, hasn't he? So big up to Cucurella. We'll go on to Vega now. For me, one of the most underrated players in this Chelsea side. Let's go with you, Yusuf. What did you think about Vega and his performance?
I actually think Renato Vega was actually very good yesterday. When we first got him, I didn't know what to think of him. I didn't really know much of him. I know he played at Basel. That's pretty much all I knew. And I heard that he could play centre back, left back, and also defensive midfield at times. We've tried him in a few of those positions, and he's looked, I'd say, pretty solid in most of them, especially yesterday, where he played centre back, and he was really good in defence. I really enjoyed watching him.
Absolutely. I mean, unlimited dreamer.
I would say with Renato Vega and Cucurella yesterday were actually the best combination team in that game last night, and like they just got out of the press when Panathinaikos was pressing us. They got out. It was just like, we could get out of your press easily. Doesn't bother us. And it's like, and when you compare, I'm just saying this right now, comparing it to Badiashile and Disasi combining, it was good. It was easy. But when you come to Renato Vega and Cucurella, they just distributed it away from the press and got it out real quick.
Yeah.
And like, to me, like, bang on. Like, he is such a versatile player. He's like, I think he's one of the diamonds in the rough that we've just picked out of Basel. And like, let's just not do a Salah, because we got Salah from Basel. I just don't want it to happen again. Chelsea, do not do it again. I beg you.
I think we should be all right. But yeah, I mean, yeah, he certainly turned into a very good player for us. Also, Disasi almost scored a banger, didn't he? In the second half. I didn't realize. I saw a replay earlier on. I was like, oh my days! If he would have scored that goal, that would have been unbelievable. But having him on that right hand side, I mean, I don't think it's anyone's preference really. But I mean, how do we think he coped? Let's go with Gaming for Life.
Disasi at right back.
Yeah.
I don't like him at right back because of I don't know. He's not like I don't see him as a fit on right back. He's slow. He gets outpaced. Sometimes he's just like he's out of position and leaves like wide players open, and that's why I'm just there like he can't be doing this in like big games. If we like playing Carabao Cups, like say a Newcastle, a Man United, a Liverpool, a City, because they have like fast wingers. So I don't know. I think someone else should be playing that. I understand if he doesn't want to play Gusto, maybe because he wants to keep him for the Prem games, or maybe he wanted to rest him for big games that we've got coming up against Newcastle, United, and Arsenal. But I don't know. For me, I don't think he's good to be the right back. It's not his position. I understand it, but for me, he's not. I don't like him there. Obviously, that's my opinion. I don't know what anyone thinks on this panel. I just don't think he's a good fit on that right back.
Yeah, I think people agree with you. I don't think there's any disputes that Disasi's natural position isn't on the right. I mean, ABTV, do you think that he was good enough, even considering he was out of position?
Nah, I think Disasi is not good at right back, and actually, and in centre back, he's not good enough. I think we will sell him in the summer. So
you think we will sell him? So even as a rotation player who's not going to start in the Premier League and maybe play more of the cup games, you still wouldn't want Disasi in your team?
Nah, we have Badiashile. We have more centre backs. We don't need him, I think.
You don't need him? So who do you play over Disasi? I mean, obviously Vega did play there, but a lot of the time he's on the left. So I mean, if that spot opens up for another player, Disasi slots in nicely, no? Or would you still play someone else over him?
Yeah, I think we just have to like see more things on Disasi.
I was going to say something on the Disasi thing as well.
Like, good things in Disasi. I think.
Go on, CJ.
Yeah, well, I mean, with Disasi, like, you would expect these minutes to go to like Josh Achampong, but with the whole contract situation, I don't mind playing Disasi in like the Conference League games because let's face it, a lot of these teams are not really going to pose that much of a threat, and even if they do, like Disasi is just kind of filling in that gap while you rest the likes of Gusto and James for your bigger games, and you still have to give him minutes as well. Like he's a player in the squad, and he's one of the senior guys as well. So for Disasi, Badiashile, it's looking like Conference League minutes, cup games. So I really don't mind it, man. If you could play Disasi and keep James and Gusto fresh, why not? So there's no point selling him now. If you decide to promote a Chumpong into the team, then you might think about someone like a Disasi maybe not getting minutes, but he's a center back as well. So it's just I don't really think like Disasi's position in that role should really affect if he's in the team or not. Like when he plays as a center back, he's a good center back. That's the thing about Disasi. As slow as he is, he's a good center back. When you play him at right back, that's when he just looks like an android. So that's what I think
Yeah,
about Disasi.
especially that Bournemouth game we had. I remember seeing he was just getting run ragged, and this is the problem I had with Enzo Fernandez. You're playing the guy out of position. He's not a number 8, and then you expect him to play his best football when he is not able to do what he is good at doing because of where he is on the pitch. So that's the manager.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, if you can get away with it, rotation is rotation, isn't it? And you've got to try and manage the squad as best as you can. Yeah, I mean, Yusuf Disasi on the right. We had Badiashile next to him as well. Do you have any issues with having those two in the team? Because obviously ABTV says we'll probably end up selling Disasi. I personally don't think we will, but I can understand where he's coming from, especially if someone like Josh Achimpong ends up signing a new deal and getting those minutes.
If I'm being honest, yeah, I don't think we'll sell Disasi either. Badiashile, I thought he was all right, especially against Liverpool as well. He was okay.
He was great against Liverpool. Come on, we've got to give him some praise for that one.
Yeah, I remember when we originally signed Badiashile. Do you remember? And he was like one of the only players like playing really well in our team, where we were just losing nearly every single game.
Yeah,
and yeah, realistically, all the players that play here should be doing a job against all of these teams in the Conference League, because like, I don't know if you lot have seen, but I've seen a stat where Chelsea's squad like value is combined is bigger than all of the other Conference League teams combined. So realistically, we should be winning this competition very comfortably. At least we're top of the league now, but that should be expected. But yeah, Disasi, I think, yeah, we won't sell him. He was okay yesterday, but I would think maybe that goal that Panathinaikos scored, it was a little bit down to him possibly not knowing the position at right back enough. But realistically, it was just a defensive mistake overall, that Panathinaikos goal, really. Badiashile was okay. Yeah, that's what I really have to say.
On your point, you know how you said about Badiashile that he won us games, but I was going to say the reason why half the time we won them games and we didn't lose because he was actually cooking under Graham Potter, and Graham Potter had good defensive structure. Whereas under Pochettino, he was awful.
Yeah.
But I really think Badiashile has improved. Like,
yeah, Badiashile will improve this season under Maresca. It's just like every player that I see in this squad, in our A and our B team, I think has improved under Maresca. And we can't say they haven't, because they have. Like, I didn't expect Jadon Sancho to be this good enough under Maresca. And Mudryk's improving a lot. And like, I didn't expect Sterling to be loaned. I thought they were going to sell Mudryk, but because of the hype of him, they believed him and they kept him.
Well, like for me, like Badiashile, yeah, he is improving quite a bit, and I am impressed with him.
Yeah.
I'll just say about Disasi, it's like I don't think he would have been playing if Reece James was fully fit,
Yeah.
or like, because let's be honest here, our actual right backs is Reece James and Gusto, and like, if you think about it, it's more like once Reece James is able to do 2 games a week, Disasi will go back to his normal position as a centre back, and we might see him play in the Conference League still, or we might see him being on the bench, and Renato Vega might play that left centre back role when Cucurella inverts into the midfield, and Disasi might be the one on the bench for a while, or it could be Badiashile. It's like we had no choice because we don't want to injure Gusto, and because he's one of our only right backs right now who is fully fit and able to do 2 games a week or something like that. And Reece can only do 1. So like the Prem game against Newcastle, we won't know if he's going to be either in the cup or the Prem game.
Yeah. Okay. We're going to move up the pitch now, and we're going to talk about probably the biggest talking point going into this game anyway, which is Dewsbury-Hall and Enzo Fernandez. I don't know why I thought this, but I was very confident that they were going to start together, and here they are. So I mean, I want to know what your thoughts are on that partnership, and the fact that Maresca decided to play Enzo in a slightly deeper role, which is what he's more suited to, and then more people come out saying that, oh, I actually think Enzo had a good game. So let's start off with CJ.
Oh, can you guys hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah.
All right, perfect. See, I've been crying out for Enzo to really play those the deeper positions anyway. Just because he doesn't look like someone who has the pace, the the work rate to be playing that 8 back and forth, box to box position. Just play Enzo as your 6. You let him dictate the play. You let him control the tempo, and you see a better Enzo Fernandez. I'm actually happy he played yesterday with Dewsbury-Hall. I think it was more of like a 3-3-4 formation. So you had Enzo, Cucurella, and Dewsbury-Hall, looking like the midfielders. And I think he played a really good game. He kept it simple. He progressed our play. That's what you want to see from Enzo. That's where you want to see Enzo. Not as an 8, not as a 10, not as a winger. Just keep him in the 8, and you see performances like that. So I think he had a good game.
I much prefer Enzo playing, and it's just like what Concern said, when he picks up the ball deep, that is where you see the best of him. But the problem isn't when we have the ball, it's when we don't have the ball, and this is where you like the security of Lavia or Caicedo, who they just chop things up in midfield, and that's my biggest criticism of Enzo. It's always been the biggest thing is if you're not going to win 50-50s, if you're not going to compete in other aspects of the game. I'm not saying you've got to be Conor Gallagher, and this is the debate that people have, but I do think you do need to do a little bit more off of the ball, and that is where Enzo Fernandez does struggle a little bit for me. Lacks that quality.
You see someone
Alex,
with an Enzo, right? Someone with an Enzo, just like Jorginho, you just know what you get from him. Jorginho was never that guy who was going to be a contact, but he played his position, he played his role, and we had a good balance. So with Enzo, you just have to understand that's not his role. He's not going to be, tackling, winning all these the possession back and interceptions. Enzo is a guy you give someone like a Lavia and a Caicedo, and he dictates your play. And then you let Caicedo, Lavia be, the guys who break up play, win the ball back. Enzo does your progression. So I think you just got to understand the kind of profile he is. I think the quicker you do and you just know what Enzo is, the less disappointed you are with the things he cannot do, really, at least for me.
I'm with you, bro. I don't know what that beeping noise is in the background, guys. I don't know who's got that noise. But just
Alex,
mute your mics
that ain't
if
me.
that is the case. All right, just
I think
mute
that
your
was me
mic
going
when
up
you're
the
speaking.
elevator.
But yeah, I mean, I completely agree with you, CJ. I think that, to be honest with you, like imagine we played Jorginho where we've been playing Enzo, and people seem to forget that Fernandez was a direct replacement for Jorginho. So play the guy in his rightful position, and he'll play his best football. But then the question is, even him playing his best football in his rightful position, is that good enough to warrant a start over Caicedo or Lavia? And the answer, in my opinion, is still no. But I'm glad that we got to see him have a run out in this game. I think that he's going to be really key for us in this competition, and he's going to be a very important player. I mean, Anapa, good to see you, my friend. I hope you're doing well. What do you think about Enzo Fernandez and his partnership with Dewsbury-Hall?
Can you hear me? Am I audible?
Yes, I can hear you.
All right. With Enzo Fernandez, I feel like he's a quality player. I mean, we know this. We saw in the World Cup. But my only problem with him is that there's no physicality in him. I don't see him, breaking up play, tackling. So when we play him, higher up, trying like asking him to chase after the ball, it's a problem. And I feel like in these games is where we get to see the best of him, because I thought he was decent last night. But then if we play him in his best position in the Premier League, does that mean we have to push Caicedo now further forward? So I don't know. I prefer Lavia and Caicedo, but Enzo, I don't know. I feel like we've wasted a lot of money on that player. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not a real big fan of him.
I mean, he's never worth what we paid for him, but we were desperate for someone to come in. And he was great when he first come in. I can't remember who made the point. I think it might have been Gaming for Life about Graham Potter's setup and the fact that Enzo was playing really well. Or maybe that was even Badiashile, but I think Enzo was another player that benefited.
Yeah, it was Badiashile. I said Graham Potter played. Yeah, it was Badiashile.
Yeah. But then obviously under Pochettino, we never really saw the best of Enzo. And you'd think that under Maresca, things would have clicked sooner, but it's been quite hard to fit him into the team.
Yeah, I mean, I personally, I don't even know what to do with him, because, like, I don't know. Maybe that's why it's a good thing to have the Conference League games, because then maybe, I don't know, maybe we can see that same Enzo Fernandez that we saw against Liverpool last season. Because the thing with Enzo, if you compare him to someone like Caicedo, he doesn't have many top performances, if that makes sense. Like with Caicedo, I can mention many performances where he's been the standout midfielder. All I need Enzo to do is just, have a 7 out of 10. He can't be dropping 5s. And my biggest problem actually with Enzo now is that people defend him saying, okay, he's not physical, but look at his ball playing. Okay, look at the passes. Sometimes he just wastes some of the passes. You'll be, I don't know if you guys remember yesterday. I think he was trying to kick the ball to someone, and then it went very, very wrong. I'm like, oh my goodness. But I mean, I'm just nitpicking. But yeah, I mean, I feel like he's just a bit overrated, in my opinion. That's yeah.
Well, I don't know about overrated. I don't know about overrated, because I think he gets a lot of hate as well. But I think that people expect him to do things that he is not supposed to do in the position that he's been playing, and he's not capable of doing it when he's not playing in his position. So I do think we're going to see much more of him as a number 6. Fingers crossed. ABTV. I mean, we think that Enzo Fernandez was decent in that game. I think we can all agree. We'd love to see him play more, but ahead of Lavia and Caicedo will be difficult. But another player who's probably trying to push into the team is Dewsbury-Hall. And that's a player that, for me, against Barrow, improved as the game went on. Against Ghent, ended up scoring, got better and better as the game went on. Do you think he grew into this game as well, or is there any criticism, or are you happy with what you saw from Dewsbury-Hall?
Yeah, I think Dewsbury-Hall he's quality player. As I see him last year in Leicester, I think he's a very good player, and I think he have good future in Chelsea. So I was happy. With Dewsbury-Hall, and his passing actually is very, very, very good. Yeah.
What do you think he brings to the team?
I think he have elite mind, knows what to do, and I think he knows the players how can they play to each other, and I think he's very, very good.
Yeah. What about you, Unlimited Dreamer?
Big up. I gotta go.
Yeah.
Good to see you, my friend. Have a good one.
Yeah, I feel like Dewsbury-Hall was just it's been growing game after game, and he's just getting used to the lifestyle at Chelsea, where the expectations is a bit higher than when he was at Leicester, and he's now getting into his own. It's just obviously he's having a battle against quite a lot of players in the position he plays in, and he's giving it his best. And I'm not gonna lie, I think he will get a start, or maybe bring on the bench at some point in the Prem. And I think, if I'm correct, wasn't he the one that gave the cross all the way for the first goal to Felix when he flicked it and to that first goal? I think it was. Was it him or was it Enzo?
The first goal. No, it was.
Yeah, it was him playing the ball to Felix. Yes.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so he basically did that all the way from where he was to Felix for it to flick to Mudryk. That was just him at his best when he distributes. And when I've seen highlights from Leicester, he distributes pretty well when he was at Leicester last season in the Championship. So we just saw the best of Dewsbury-Hall at that moment. It's just hopefully he can bring in consistently and bring in the goals as well. And just say, Enzo, give me a chance.
Yeah, I'm with you there, man. I'm with you there. I mean, CJ, what do you think that Dewsbury-Hall needs to do to break into the A team, the Premier League team? Because he's certainly performing in these other games. I mean, what is it that he needs to do to break through? Because Fernandez has clearly been dropped for Lavia. I don't think we're going to see Fernandez against Newcastle. I think we'll see Lavia and Caicedo again. And Dewsbury-Hall's going to try and break in as well. I mean, is there an opening for him? Is there a chance? What can he do?
I'm gonna be so honest with you. I don't see Dewsbury-Hall breaking into that Premier League team. Not ahead of Lavia, not ahead of Caicedo, not ahead of Palmer. I just think, certain players are just going to be squad depth. Here and there you come in, you get a few minutes, but him breaking into that team and actually holding down that position, I just don't. I don't think he's going to do enough to warrant a starting position. But then again, players are going to be out of form. There's going to be injuries. You get an opportunity to stake a claim. But I think in that position, there's always going to be like people on top of the hierarchy. So if Lavi is fit, he's going to play. If Caicedo's fit, he's going to play. Even Enzo to an extent. That's $100 million they spent on this guy. And even though he's not worth it, he's one of our biggest investments. So I think all these three guys are going to be ahead of Dewsbury-Hall, and it's just the luck of the draw. When you play for a team like Chelsea, there's just going to be some people who are going to be squad options, and unfortunately, he's one of them.
I'm with you. I mean, Kalilu, I saw you shake your head a little bit when CJ was talking. Do you disagree with anything that he said?
Yes, of course. First of all, I say hi to all guys in the studio. Chelsea matter is like our day issue. Like the issue of Caicedo not worthy of the money we spent on him. Of course, I don't think, of course, my guy is on the right footing. We see Caicedo game by game since the arrival of Enzo. Every game is much better. Every game is much better. So I think for having Caicedo in the team, I think it's a blessing, because we can see, like what he's saying, Lavia is already taking over the Enzo. But to my knowledge, and of course, the way I'm thinking, the taste of the way Enzo want to play the game, I think Enzo Fernandez is more preferable than Lavia because of the high lines which we do normally play, and then of course you see him when he's there, and then some of the passes which he make to Kuma, and then of course that of our Jackson. So in the area of Dewsbury-Hall, of course, like nothing is impossible under the sun. who ever think of Maragusto being in the first team fixed, So I think it just needs to put effort because he's a talented player, really. He's really a talented player.
Fair enough. Okay, fair enough. Well, Anapa, I mean, do you agree with that? Do you have a response?
It's such a tricky one because, like, as he said, he's a talented player. We know this, but when you have players on the sides, I think if we look at our team, right, the B team, it's a very strong team. So I feel like their players always trying to push and try to get into the A team. So my thing is, if you're not performing, and we've seen Maresca in the press conferences, he said, if you won't perform, you won't play. So, I mean, look, it's about consistency at this point. That's what I think.
All about consistency. Are you, Siv?
Yeah, I think that's fair enough. Dewsbury-Hall, I feel a bit bad for him, obviously, with the players he's got to compete with. I don't know if you remember, but against Barrow, you remember that interview that I had with you? One of the guys said that he didn't really think that Dewsbury-Hall was needed. And I think I actually agreed with him a little bit because some people thought that he was a bit of a replacement for Gallagher. He hasn't really shown that he has because Gallagher actually played a lot for us last season. But yeah, Dewsbury-Hall has really become squad depth for us. And Enzo Fernandez, I wouldn't really put him in the Newcastle starting 11 either. No. Because, I think Lavia has got that position ahead of him now because from what we've seen of Lavia, he can actually do much more than Enzo Fernandez, in my opinion.
Yeah, I actually, I think there's an argument to be made about Fernandez starting against Newcastle because I would say that it's more important to have the stability in midfield away from home when we go to St James's Park, just like what we had at Anfield. So I wouldn't have an issue with having Caicedo or Lavia in that game. But I know that, I certainly know with Lavia that Maresca's not going to take any risks. Maybe Maresca's going to give Caicedo a run out twice. But yeah, I mean, Fernandez for me, if we don't see him in bigger games playing in his natural position, it's really hard to judge him. But we can only judge him from what we do see. And I think that it has been underwhelming. But then again, I was happy with what I saw yesterday. We're going to move on. We're going to move on, go further up the pitch. Mykhailo Mudryk, 2 assists, a goal. I just want to say I was really, really impressed with the goal.
I'm here for it, Alex. I'm here for the Mudryk slander. I'm here for it.
For the Mudryk slander?
I'm here for it. Anyone who wants to slander him, I'm here for it, mate. I'm backing Mudryk.
Nah.
Oh, you're backing him. You're backing him.
I backed him for the last 5 games in the Conference League, Brent. He's improving slowly.
I thought you were about to criticize.
No, I ain't going to criticize him. I think he's slowly improving. Slowly. It's not a massive improvement, but he's slowly getting there.
Well, this is the thing with what Maresca said. Some players can do it quickly than others, and others will probably take it slowly. So this is the thing with Mudryk. He's taking it slowly, and this is the best thing for him at this point because we don't want him to go like game after game after game, and then he just performs stinker after stinker. Like, let him get his confidence and let him learn because I feel like what Enzo Maresca, and this is the thing that what I've understood, Maresca can teach players who, even if they are like Mudryk, before Maresca came, he's basically teaching Mudryk, like, look, pace isn't everything. You need to make the right choices, the right decisions. Like that choice where with the run, when Felix did the flick. Mudryk made that run. He could have easily took a shot. He could have easily maybe just took a shot to the other side of the goal. But he did the right thing. He just basically squared it past the 2 defenders to Felix and just a tap in. Like the small things are the things that Mudryk just needs to do.
Yeah, it's the simple things. Well, we think they're simple, but obviously it might not be so simple for him.
Yeah.
Part of that might have been the way he's been coached. Has he been coached? ? Because these are basics. And also it's just about using a bit of initiative as well. I was really, really impressed with the goal, and this is why, because a lot of people, I spoke to people after the game that saw the goal, because obviously I missed it, and they went, yeah, it was just a header, it wasn't that good. When does Mudryk ever make that run? Never. I never saw Mudryk make that run.
The only time I saw
This
Mudryk make
is
that
a
kind of
clear
run.
sign that the guy is not just improving his footballing ability, he's improving his IQ. He knows where to go. And I think this comes to Maresca as well. So big up to Maresca, because I think that they've been working on that in training, and we saw it shine through.
Yeah, like when you mentioned about that run, it's like there was only one moment where I remember when Mudryk made the kind of run to come in. It's, when against Newcastle in EFL Cup, I think it was, where Kieran Trippier just couldn't touch it properly, made the mistouch, and Mudryk just took advantage and came in and then get that goal. That's the only time that I would see Mudryk just came in, and now he's coming in again. I feel like we just need to see him do that more. Come in from the wing, even though it's by a cross, you could easily maybe get a header like you just did against Panathinaikos, or if it's on the floor, you could easily just get a tap in. It's like, that's what we're just asking from Mudryk. Just get in there, get that chance, and just try. That's what we're asking from you. Just get in there. And like you did with the game when he had the ball on his side, just try and get chances happening.
100%. I mean, Anopa, what do you think about Mudryk? Did you give up on him? Let me ask you that first. Did you give up on him, or did you keep the faith? Be honest.
I won't lie. As soon as we signed Sancho, I'm like, Mudryk is gone. I thought he was finished. I'm not gonna lie. But I'm actually very impressed, because my thing with Mudryk was that you can see there's a bit of quality in him. The only problem is that sometimes I feel like he doesn't do the basics right first, because he's always trying to take. Have you guys noticed in like almost every game he takes some random shot, some random long shot, and it never gets close to the goal? And I know one day he's gonna score a banger for us, but yeah, I think just doing the simple things right, because I feel like a player with him, with so much pace on him, yes, you get tempted for him to just run in behind all the time, but I feel like he should just be passing the ball, making the right decisions, and then space will open up. As I think yesterday when Felix hit the ball and then Mudryk ran after it, you saw exactly, like, I don't know who said it, but his IQ is definitely improving, because I don't think Mudryk last season would be passing that. I feel like he'll be shooting or something. But I mean, I'm impressed so far with what he's done. Even against Nottingham Forest, I think he put it on a plate for Nkunku as well. So his crossing also seems to be getting a little bit better as well. So I'll take it. I think he's slowly making a shot, giving a shout to Maresca to maybe come off the bench against Newcastle. But I'm impressed so far. Yeah.
I mean, maybe there's an argument for him to start some Premier League games. I mean, what do you think about that, Kalilu?
I think one of the major problems is the decision making, right? Of course, those runs which Mudryk used to make, he makes a very good runs. But whenever he's in that particular position, he has problem with the decision making. And then that's one of the lapses. You can see that, of course, he made a very good passes sometime, but of course, the area in which we are expecting Mudryk to be is very difficult. I don't know if Enzo is a magician, because we can see from, of course, the hands that these guys have gone through, of course, from Poch, and then, of course, Poch himself is not that much bad. But, of course, Mudryk by himself do not want to adapt the way of playing to some coaches, That's really giving him problem. You can see
maybe that's the problem, is the coach needs to try and adapt to a player like Mudryk.
I think that's what Enzo is working on, because you can see when Mudryk ever, of course, moved to his home, he make a very good games. He sometimes, scores, because, of course, there you can see almost everything is Mudryk. He wants to play to Mudryk, the way of playing. So, and then, of course, here, it's a bigger ball. No one is depending on you. You have to depend on the ball. But Mudryk by himself, I think, is a slow learner. It just needs to be equipped in decision making. I think that will help him a lot because, like the runs yesterday he did, and of course the passes and even the assist, I was overwhelmed. I think it's magic. Myself, I didn't believe in that guy no longer because the fate, of course, the first instant he showed us to us when he arrived at the club, Liverpool match, I was overwhelmed. I think we got the Moses, but it is not up to that task. It's a bit appalling. I pray for him to at least adjust himself quickly to what we're really looking up for him.
I'm with you. CJ, I mean, what's your take on it?
I think you could see the gradual improvements in his game, and it feels like his decision making is a lot sharper. It doesn't feel like he's just running the ball out of play. Like you could actually see him just relaxed when he's playing. And again, these could all be really good coaching, man management has been good, and I think it gets to a point where as a player you have to really take it upon yourself to help yourself. The guy has 1 goal, 5 assists. Could have had 7 assists already this season if other people converted some of these chances he created. But he's one guy that I've always looked at and I went, he has like the raw attributes. He has the skill set to be a serious player.
Yeah.
It's just who's going to really help him realize that potential. And even though like in the past previous performances, you could always tell his passing has been always one of his strongest skill set. Like Mudryk has a pass on him, and now he's actually adding good decision making. He's getting on the score sheet, and honestly, Maresca, bro, I don't know what he's done. Maybe him just always calling him Misha as Misha is actually just improving this guy's mindset because now he knows, listen, I just have to help myself. I can't just be spoon-fed every time. Eventually, you got to take responsibility. And I'm just happy. Now, Sancho's position on that left doesn't look as, assured as we thought it might be because Mudryk is having a better season than Sancho is, to be honest. So it's good to have options. And these guys are coming in form at the right time.
Interesting point that you say he's had a better season than Sancho. Why do you think that is?
Just you look at his performances, right? And you could just tell, like, this is someone who has a second wind up in his sails, and he's taking responsibility. He's creating opportunities. Sancho has 3 assists. Mudryk has 5 and a goal. So based on that, and you look at his performance as well, it's just you can see him making the right decision every single time. Like, I believe if he had played some part of that Liverpool game, would get something different. You have someone running at Trent full speed. You can commit him to committing fouls. It could be whatever. But from what I've seen this season, the guy is improving, man. And, you got to look at the eye test, and also you got to look at the output for me. And
I'm with you.
The eye test is looking good. The output is a lot better. So I'll take that.
Lane Lee does not agree whatsoever. I think it's certainly an interesting conversation. The nice thing about Mudryk and Sancho is they're very different. So you get different things with both players. If you want pace, you go Mudryk. Technical ability, I'd probably go with Sancho. But then if I'm looking to have more than just a creative threat, which I think Sancho is more creative, I think Mudryk is more likely to get in the box and score goals like we saw against Panathinaikos. And this is something that Sancho needs to improve on, is just being willing to go and do it yourself. Why do you need to lay it off every single time? I think sometimes that's what frustrates fans. But I mean, he does compliment Mudryk on the other side, who's much more selfish. So I guess it's not the worst thing to have a little bit of balance, but Mudryk's certainly making a case for himself.
Well, back to I'm just going to say about Sancho and Mudryk. Like, to me, yeah, they're completely different players. It all depends on what team we're facing. Like, if we're facing like a City side back in the Etihad, I will say, I feel like Mudryk could, if he continues his form, I think he could actually play better because City play a high line. And obviously, if we get past that press that City do, I feel like within Mudryk, he would be able to take on a couple of players and use his pace. And obviously, I think, and also because he does great decision making, I feel like with this new improved Mudryk, I feel like he would suit that type of game. It's just when it comes to low blocks, I feel like Sancho, if it's like, say, like if it's 0-0, maybe bring on Mudryk in the last couple of minutes, just so when the other team's knackered and if they're still trying to get their goal, we can counterattack them. But I feel like more when it comes to low blocks, Sancho is more of the guy that we need to rely on for creativity because with low blocks. And yeah, I will agree. He needs to start coming in the box and scoring goals. He needs to bring like that kind of what Mudryk's doing. Like come in the box now. It's like when I see Madueke, I mean like if you just go near to the other side of the post, Sancho, you could maybe be like, Noni, I'm open. Chip it over him. I could probably header it in.
What about you, Yusuf?
Yeah, I mean Mudryk, yeah, he is improving a lot, genuinely. That Sancho position, yeah, as I'm not sure who said it, but yeah, it's looking not so much assured now. But I would still play Sancho in the Premier League games for now and still have options. Like even, I mean, could you say that maybe even Pedro Neto maybe could like come off the bench in the left wing? I see more of him as a right winger, but I would say that that Mudryk could still challenge Sancho for that spot. But I would still play Sancho for now in those Premier League games. But Mudryk is showing that he is trying and he's improving game by game. And you never know, he might become that player that we all thought he might become when we stole him from Arsenal. Hopefully he does. But yeah. We'll have to wait and see.
I mean, listen, we have been very patient, and it's nice to see that we're getting something back from Mudryk, a player that we signed with another high expectation on big money, Pedro Neto. I mean, how do we describe his Chelsea career so far? He definitely deserved to start in this game. He was fantastic when he came off the bench against Liverpool. For me, probably the biggest impact. I'd say Badiashile also made a good impact as well. CJ, I mean, does Pedro Neto deserve more minutes? Was he underwhelming, or are you happy with what you saw from him?
I think for the most part he was underwhelming that game. I think he lost a lot of the take-ons he tried to make happen. Struggled to be his man for the most part till he played that cross to Mudryk. But you know, I've always wanted him to start on the left just to see, you know, the dynamic between him, Palmer, Sancho, and Jackson. But then whenever he gets these opportunities, he just doesn't really take them enough. So then Noni, you know, ends up starting over the weekend. And at the end of the day, like, they both offer something different. And in as much as I would want to see Neto on that side, I don't think he really does enough to displace Noni. So it's a good thing to have with both options giving you something different. When Neto has 2 goals, maybe another 2 assists to go, but I just feel like he needs to do just that extra bit to, you know, either solidify himself on that spot or have Noni really thinking that, yo, if I don't buckle up, my position could be under some serious threat. But I just don't think he's done enough, honestly.
The nice thing about Neto is he is able to play on both sides. And I guess Sancho could play on the right, but he's not great, if I'm honest, on the right-hand side. Neto's the only player that I look at and go, well, I'd be happy with him on the left. I'd be happy with him on the right as well. But there's still an awful lot to improve. I mean, how do you see it, Anapa?
With Neto, I mean, look, if you just look at it in its full the full picture, he was Wolves' best player, right? So, like, your first thought is you think as soon as he comes to play for Chelsea, he's gonna, do what he was doing at Wolves. I feel like he's a player that needs lots of game time. Because the thing is, when I look at Neto, what I've noticed is he's not, I wouldn't say a goal-scoring winger, but more of a creator. I see he loves to do those little chipped-in crosses, and I feel like if we had maybe a much more physical, or maybe a striker that's good with headering, would be perfect for Neto because I feel like his crossing is very dangerous. I mean, every time he whips in a cross, I always feel like we can score from it. Look, with his position on the right, it's going to be difficult because I feel like Maresca loves Madueke. You can see the way he talks about him in the press conferences, like how he likes about his mentality and his pressing. On the left, I'm not really a fan of him on the left, but he can play there. I mean, look, it's just going to tell over time because if Sancho's not playing well, then maybe Neto's an option. That's how I see it.
I mean, whenever I've spoken to Wolves fans, they always said he was just as good on the left as he was on the right, if not better. So I just don't think that he's pinned down a spot. That's the problem, isn't it? I mean, if we could say, right, let's have a real run out, then you can see if we can get some momentum together. But he's in and out of the team, which is the way it should be as well, but also very hard to build on, performances if you're not getting those regular minutes. That is the reality, though, of playing for a club like Chelsea. I mean, if you had to pick over, let's just say, Neto and Madueke at the moment, who do you see coming out on top?
I think it's going to be Madueke. I mean,
Yeah.
it just has to be him, It's like you said, it's a big squad. I think, last season we had lots of injuries. So, we needed lots of players last season. This season, we've actually done a good job of keeping everyone fit. So it's more difficult now, to see him get more minutes. So yeah, unfortunately for now, it's gonna have to be Madueke. Yeah.
Fair enough. Do you agree with that, Yusuf?
Yeah, I do agree that I would pick Madueke over Neto. It's just that I remember when we were linked, to be fair, we weren't even linked. That Pedro Neto transfer just came out of nowhere, really. And the only thing I said with him is that we knew that he had a pretty bad injury record. I'm just happy that he hasn't got injured. And I really like how Maresca has managed the squad because we've only really had really one or maybe two injuries. I think Reece James is the only big injury that we've really had so far, and we know he's a bit injury prone, but hopefully he's done with the injuries now. But I really like how Maresca has managed the squad because you can see that with the Conference League games and the Premier League games, we basically have a different team playing every game, and I think that's why we haven't really had any injuries because no one's really had overloading minutes, really.
Yeah, I'm with you. Go on, mate.
Yeah, I will say that, Maresca's done actually a brilliant job when it comes to the injuries, I will say. But also, let's be honest, I think the owners thought about this, the Club World Cup's coming in the summer. We need a second team, a second B team that could be in this Conference League so we don't have to worry about players getting overworked or being used so much, getting exhausted and tired and all that. And I'll say about Neto, I feel like to me, it's a 50-50 really, because Madueke scored a hat-trick against Wolves, and after that, he was non-existent personally. He did do some things, but this is the thing, with Noni. When you see a better option, say if you're in front of goal, but there's a couple of defenders near you and you're going to shoot, and there's a better option, say the pass, and there's an open net basically, and the player could score from that. I would shout my screen saying, Noni, give it to them. Give it to them. Don't shoot. Just go for the easy option. If we're 3-0 up, say we're in a cruising position, I wouldn't argue with him having a shot. But when it comes to the fine margins, I will say that. Also with Pedro, it was a surprise signing, Injury prone, that's the one thing I was worried about Pedro. And he's starting to it's like Mudryk, I'll say. It's his first time in one of the big teams. I'll just say, I'm not giving this little example for every player, but for Pedro Neto, he's had long injury. He hasn't had that consistent game time, like you said, consistent game time. And I feel like for this moment in time, for this season, I feel like we won't see the full best of Pedro Neto. I think next season, or maybe at close to the end of the season, we'll see the best, full best of Pedro Neto. That's where I can see it.
I'm with you. All right, guys. Well, we're going to finish off with Nkunku and Felix. We'll speak about them all together, and then we'll go on and we'll briefly touch on the subs from this game. I mean, Nkunku and Felix. That's the partnership we've seen in a lot of these cup games. Is there a reason that any of those players wouldn't start in some of the Premier League fixtures? They've both been performing during the cup games. Obviously, Felix getting 2 goals, isn't it? And Nkunku scoring the penalty as well. Let's start with you, CJ. All right, we'll go with Anapa.
Wait, was it me or no?
Oh, yeah, you can go.
Oh, go on, mate. Sorry, I didn't know if your internet went or something.
Oh, no, my bad. What did you say?
I was just saying, so we have Felix and Nkunku both getting goals, decent performances. Is there any reason why they shouldn't have a case to be in the Premier League squad?
With Nkunku, I think it's just the same thing, man. I don't think he's got enough goals, but when you look at that center forward position, Jackson just plays it a lot better. Nkunku is not a number 9. He looks more like an inside forward, someone who plays behind the striker, second striker, and until either Jackson is like badly out of form, or he has to miss a game, I just don't see him, taking Jackson's position. Felix, again, he like yesterday's game just epitomizes Felix as a player. The good, he scores 2 goals. The bad, when he tries to do these little flicks in midfield, losing possession, some of these, Cruyff turns, losing the ball. I just don't think he's going to play ahead of Palmer in that role. And I think it's just unfortunate that they have 2 people playing ahead of them who are just, playing those roles a bit better. But other than that, I think these guys would have been in the team, really.
Yeah. Do you agree with that, Anapa?
Yeah, I agree with him. I think overall this just comes down to our squad building. I think we didn't build the squad properly because, I mean, if you look at Felix and Nkunku, they're both 10s. And then we've got Palmer. So it's so difficult. And I mean, the one thing I will say about Nkunku is I like his, when he gets the ball in the central areas, I feel like he can do a job there. But he's not going to get game time. I mean, Jackson right now is going to start. So it's a bit unfortunate. But, I mean, time will tell, like I've said before, if they'll be able to get more time. And yeah.
Yeah. I mean, for me, I just think Felix is never going to get minutes ahead of Palmer. I think it's just the reality. It doesn't matter how many goals he scores; he's not going to get in ahead of what Palmer's doing. I think he's just that good. But I think he's a great player to have in the squad, and also he knew that this was going to be the situation, which I think is also positive because he accepted when he came to Chelsea that he wasn't necessarily going to get as many minutes. But that is the harsh reality. And even still, I think his attitude has been decent. I think his performances have improved as games have gone on. And yeah, I'm happy to see Felix getting some more minutes in the team. But I just don't think that he's the only player that I look at and go, doesn't matter what you do, you're never going to play. Not ahead of Palmer. Maybe I'm being a little bit harsh there, but I just feel like it's pretty standard stuff. I mean, do you agree with that, Unlimited Dreamer?
I agree with it in most of the sense. It's like, this is the thing that Maresca even said to Sancho and to Felix, like, you're not guaranteed game time, like full game time. You're not guaranteed. So they've agreed that Maresca's told them this. So it's like, you need to work hard and just continue, like, until you're called up for the first team in the Premier League. It's like, It's like, look, you'll get game time in these cup competitions and in the European competition of the Conference League. Like, this is the thing for these players, and obviously for the A team that plays in the Prem when they play in, say, like the Conference League. This is the thing. This is the most of these teams, except for I'd say Reece James. I don't know if anyone else has won a trophy with Chelsea, but I think it's just Reece James. Obviously, Chilwell's still with us, but yeah. Those 2 are the only guys that have won trophies. Once they win this, I think most of these as Chelsea players, they will want to do more. Once they win that Conference League, it's going to be the catalyst of everything for us. If we win this Conference League, the catalyst of winning trophies, they'll have that taste and they won't get rid of it. But for João Felix and Nkunku, I'm not going to lie, I feel sorry for both of them because they are great talents. It's just that Jackson's playing really well, and like we've got Cole Palmer. You can't really bench Cole Palmer. If you put Cole Palmer on the bench, you're a madman.
I'm with you. Yeah, well, you can't bench him. I mean, that's just how it is. But I've got a lot of good things to say about Felix, and I think everyone criticized. Well, not everyone actually. Very mixed opinions on Felix when he came in. Some people went, we overpaid. Some people say, why are we bringing this guy in? He's not been balling out at Atletico. He improves the team ultimately. That is what you want with any signing. He was better than what we had. Certainly better than Sterling, in my opinion. Because even if Sterling's not playing, he's on the bench at 325 grand a week. Is that worth it? So for me, João Felix, I'm very, very happy with what I've seen from him. And yeah, long may it continue. We are going to quickly touch on the substitutes. Yes, I agree. We had Kasady coming on. We had Chukwuemeka as well with a few minutes. George came on for Neto and Mark Gear as well. So let's summarize the three. Let's summarize all four. And I mean, is there any players, guys, that you felt came on and really made a difference? I'll start with you, Yusuf.
I think a lot of people will agree with me on this one. Tyreek George. I actually think he came on and did a really good job, considering, I mean, he hasn't really... I remember he played against Barrow when I was there. And yeah, he actually did pretty well in this game. He was trying to shoot a few times. And he was trying to cross it. I remember he crossed it in for João Felix, where he unfortunately didn't score. But yeah, if I'm being honest, I think Tyreek George made the most impact. Mark Yu came on, had a few minutes, which is good. Cassidy didn't really do much, and Carney Chukwuemeka, I think, if I'm honest, he had the second most impact. If I'm being honest, because I remember him and Tyreek George were trying to combine a few times and nearly came off, but unfortunately.
Oh, okay. Connection's gone there. Let's go with you, Unlimited Dreamer. Do you want to follow up on that?
Well, I will say is Tyreek George was the most one that was impact. Obviously, his young self, some decisions that what I saw, obviously if he had more experience, he would have seen. Say there was a couple of passes. Say I think it was I don't know if it was Chukwuemeka or if it was Felix, but they were right behind him and they were going to make the run into the side in the penalty area. But he didn't see it. He decided to try and do a shot, and I'm just like, yeah, that's just the inexperience happening with him, and he's doing his best. And once he gets obviously maybe I'll say next season or even in January alone, I would say I think he needs some proper good game time on loan or something like that for him to get that men's experience. But he did really well when he came on. And Mark Yu, not gonna lie, I feel sorry for him because I think he's making these runs, but I just don't know if anybody's just gonna try to do that over the top through ball or that through ball. When they tried, it's they just passed it to the opposition. Chukwuemeka, good cameo. He came on, and we haven't seen him for a while, and we don't know how long he'll be until he comes back. Cassidy, I really do rate Cassidy quite a bit when he comes on. It's he's like the players look, I said I'm not going on loan. I am going to give it my all, and I'm going to try and get into this team, and I'm going to try and help the team. For that young man to say that, I'm you've got balls. Hopefully you can back it up, and he's backed it up when he's been given opportunities and come on.
Fair enough. CJ? What did you think about the substitution, CJ? All right, we'll go to Anapa.
Was that me again?
Oh yeah, so was you. I don't know if my sound's like, is my sound quite quiet or?
I think my headphones just keep going in and out.
Oh, that's
Yeah. In terms of like the guys who came off the bench, Tyreek George did okay. He's one of those guys that I think, when we're really comfortable based on the scoreline, he'll come in, get 10, 15 minutes, if so much. Gil just doesn't look ready, needs a loan badly. Cassidy, again, one of the squad fillers you like to call it for these competitions. But other than that, I'm not too fussed, really. I think having a big enough team like this definitely is going to help, because when you look at, like Arsenal, right now crying for options not being available, I think you have the likes of Cassidy and, Carney Chukwuemeka. Like, these guys can still, get some minutes, keep others fresh, and just keep it moving. So I think everyone came on and played their role. The game was already, honestly comfortable anyway, so didn't really make a difference.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you. And then Anapa, just to round it off.
Yeah, similar to CJ, I think Mark Yu needs a loan. Tyreek George, I mean, you can see he's got a bit of talent. I was a bit disappointed with when we were like doing this beautiful football, playing out from the back, and then he's supposed to square the ball and he didn't. And then all the Panathinaikos players came back into positions. But I mean, look, I'm nitpicking, but he looked decent. Chukwuemeka, I felt like he's trying a bit too hard, because I saw him get like out of a tight space and then trying to take on another player, and then he lost possession. So that's a bit unfortunate. I feel a bit bad for Chukwuemeka, I won't lie. And then Cassidy, like, once again, squad filler. Yeah, what can we do about him?
Yeah, I'm with you. Fair enough. Okay, guys. Well, listen, I have work, so I've got to go. Wish me luck, because I'm a little bit hungover, but it's all good. It's all good. I'm glad we managed to squeeze something in. I would have done a show this morning, but I needed to sleep because I got back early. But maybe we'll do something in the evening if I can fit it in. But I just want to big up to everyone in the chat that was watching, guys. If you haven't already smashed the like button, please do. Also, if you haven't already, check out these sponsors, Omely. Top right hand corner, there's a QR code right here. Okay, so scan the QR code. There's also a link in the description. It's totally free. You don't have to pay. It's basically an app designed for football fans to speak to each other, a bit like this, but it's solely for football fans. So it's pretty cool. And check it out. Let me know what you think, guys.
Can I say something else before we wrap up?
Go for
I was
it.
going to say, yo, guys, check out the channel. It's FKCTV, FKC_TV. I have, videos coming up, maybe once a week, depending on how much I can fit into it. Chelsea fans, let's go and, just check out the video, see if you like it or not. But it's been a pleasure.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. I mean, is there anything else you guys wanted to plug? Anapa or Unlimited Dreamer? Did you want to plug anything in here? Feel free.
Yeah, like if you come and check out my channel, Unlimited Dreamer, or you want to check me on Twitch, so I do stream on Twitch from time to time. And yeah, I'm soon going to be starting my Chelsea channel soon as well. Just need to figure out a good name. Yeah, so hopefully you guys have a lovely day.
Oh, and when you guys look up FKCTV, it's going to say the Gold Digger Pod. Not gold, Gold Digger Pod.
That's it. That's it.
Gotta
Check it out,
clarify
guys. Check it out. Anapa, did you have anything you wanted to plug?
No, not really. No.
It's all good, man. Just coming for the vibes. I like it.
It's coming for the vibes.
Come for the chilly vibes.
There you go. There you go. But listen, guys, big up to everyone that's been watching, and we will catch up very, very soon. All the best, guys, and up the Chels.